So you watched Strays yesterday?
Strays yesterday. Yeah, we went last night and it's like raunchy and ridiculous. I mean, that's pretty much sums it up. Um I wasn't like over the moon, like in love with it. But it was entertaining. It was just a ton of F-bombs, a ton of dog dicks and just doggy madness. I mean, I thought it was funny in the sense that like a lot of the dog humor was like accurate. Like it's like what dogs would be doing. They're shitting, they're pissing on each other, they're humping things and eating poop and barf. So it was gross in that sense, but they kind of weaved all that into the dog humor. And so that was kind of funny. But I just wanted like a little bit more from it. I'll give you like the little background of the story. So basically there is Reggie, who is this doggy right here, the little furry one. He is played by Will Ferrell. And then Jamie Foxx is Bug. And so sorry, I'm trying to remember the names. Reggie is owned by Doug, who is played by Will Forte, and he thinks that his owner is just walks on water. He thinks he just is great and whatnot, but in actuality, he's not assessing the situation very well, and the owner hates him. And so the owner finally kind of gets rid of him, and he goes and becomes a stray. And so he meets Bug, Jamie Foxx, and these other couple dogs, and they start making him aware that his owner actually sucked, and he didn't, the owner didn't love him, and so they kind of decide that they're going to seek revenge on him, and they all come together and decide that the best thing to do is going to be to get back to Doug, the owner, and bite his dick off. And so it's really silly, and that is their goal. So they make it happen. They figure out how they can get back, which is like 3 hours away to the owner's house. And it's kind of them just on this adventure getting back to bite the dick off. And so, yeah, they end up like on shrooms and in all sorts of interesting, compromising situations. But it was funny. I definitely laughed the whole time. But a lot of times I felt like I was laughing more because I was like, what the hell am I watching? This is like so out of control. And I just felt like it could have been, I just felt like it had better potential as far as the humor. I felt like it could have been written better. That was my take on it. It was still entertaining. The good thing is that it was pretty quick. And so it wasn't like this long drawn out ridiculous thing. I think it was only like an hour and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
Hour and a half, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but there was a lot of big names in it. There was like Isla Fisher, Josh Gad, Dennis Quaid made a little cameo in
Oh,
there.
nice.
Who else was in there? Yeah, there was some big names in there, but
Yeah, it
there was
gives
some.
me like the dark universe, like Homeward Bound kind of vibe. Do you remember that movie from when we were kids? Is like the
I don't remember, but I was seeing some other people referencing when I was kind of reading some things about it. But yes, like they're going on this journey,
yeah.
and it's quite the trip. So yeah, at the end it gets real crazy. Like you don't know, if he's really going to go for it, but I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody, but they definitely go for it.
That's awesome.
And it's a little intense, but
So, well,
yeah,
you saw the Jennifer Lawrence one, right? The one that just came out not too long ago,
yes, I
and
did.
that one was better than this. You think?
I think that was better. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely think that was better. Better written, better storyline. This is just like silly,
Yeah.
which I love. I like stupid ass movies that are funny, but I just felt like it could have been funnier, like the way it was written. I guess that's all I was asking for it, but I felt like there was a couple songs that were strategically placed that, made me really laugh. Like they had like Wrecking Ball in there, and that was a good one. There was
Nice.
another one. I can't remember. Do you remember that? What were they? Oh, yeah. So there's a part where there's a lot of shit involved, and then it was like, oh shit, like they bring that in. I don't know what that song actually is, but anyway, those were funny, like the way they would just kind of land in there at certain moments. But yeah, I mean, I don't know that you need to go see it in the theater, but like I said, I have my pass, so I don't care when a movie is
Mm-hmm.
sucking, because I more than get my money's worth with my pass. So I like to just try to see as much as I can.
Yeah.
But if you just want to watch a silly ass movie and you need something not very serious, it's good in that sense. Definitely be careful about the age you take to the movie. I had a friend that accidentally sent her husband and her 10-year-old to it.
Oops.
I was like, oh my gosh. But I'm like, you see the R-rated movie right there.
Yeah.
But I guess I had been reading other people were sending their kids there too. So
Yeah, I think if you're not paying attention, you see a movie about cute little dogs, and you're just like, yeah, go see it. It can't be that bad.
I know, exactly.
But yeah, I think it's interesting. It didn't do well from the critics. It got like a 55% from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, but it got a 70% from the audience score.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think people. It's funny. I think the last time Andy was on with us, he brought up that we've been missing that ultra adult comedy for a long time, that like a really inappropriate adult comedy for a while. And I think that's why I asked about the Jennifer Lawrence one, because I feel like these two
that kind of
are
brought that back into
yeah. And that one did really well, and I'm excited. That one I think is available for rent on streaming now, so you can rent or buy it. I don't think it's actually on a service yet for free. So I'm debating that. I may spend the money and watch it. I do love Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, I think you'll like that one.
Yeah.
I don't think I realized that. I'm just realizing now that this is by the people of Cocaine Bear, which is funny because when I watched Cocaine Bear, I thought the same thing. When I was laughing, I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like I had that very same feeling, and I'm like, oh, here we are. I was not putting two and two together by it's, they're the same people. So there you go.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cocaine Bear was a ton of fun, but it wasn't necessarily a good movie. Like it was an entertaining movie. It was ridiculous. This one definitely, if you watch the trailer, it looks ridiculous.
Yep.
And for me, I'm okay with that. Like,
yeah, it serves a purpose.
Exactly. And I think, when I look at the critic scores and it gets a 50%, I always think that for something like this, if you are a critic and you rated it really low, I feel like you don't understand the movie you were going to see.
Yeah.
I feel like it's got to be like on a sliding scale. Like if you watch it and you're laughing the whole time, then it's probably not really a 55%. Like it's funny enough that it should be higher. 70% kind of makes sense to me. But yeah, I'm still excited to see it when I can. I'm not necessarily looking to go to the theater, especially because I can't. I think my kids are weird. So my oldest and my youngest would be embarrassed by it. Like they would laugh. And I mean, the poor kids are raised by me, so they hear inappropriate jokes all the time. But like I think they would feel weird like laughing in the theater.
It's a little cringy.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened with so I went with my oldest, and then I went with my husband, and he was like, okay, you're sitting between us because I know this is gonna get pretty uncomfortable at some point. So I was the barrier, and I was kind of like looking back and forth the whole time, and it was okay. It was fine, but it was pretty cringy at parts. So
yeah. All right. Well, I like I said, I'm excited to go see it. I don't know, or not go see it, but to see it. I don't know when it'll be. I don't know when it'll be, but I will get out there and watch it. So, but so that was your kind of rough movie. I don't know if you've been watching the show and you haven't been on or listening. Well, you haven't been listening because Pete sucks at updating this stuff, but I've been getting it updated. So anybody watching or listening, by the time this one drops, I think I'll have us all caught up on the actual podcast
Yeah.
too. But I have been with my kids on a bender of watching really bad movies.
Yeah.
We've done a bunch of disaster movies. We accidentally watched one that was really good last week, or pretty good last week, so we were kind of disappointed by that. It's called that one was called Greenland, with Gerard Butler,
Oh.
and it was surprisingly good. It wasn't supposed to be, or we didn't think it was going to be, and it was actually pretty good. But this week, I decided to right that ship and make sure we were watching absolute garbage. So we finished tonight. We finished the last of the Triple X films
Hmm.
with well, two of them are with Vin Diesel, and one of them is with Ice Cube, and it's really interesting because the um, Triple X came out after the first Fast and the Furious movie, and the reason that Vin Diesel moved on to those, and he wasn't in the second um, Fast and Furious movie, and he was only at the very end of the third one, is he really disagreed with the writing in the Fast and the Furious movies, and he didn't want to be in them because he didn't think they were going to be very good. And to to his point, the second one really wasn't very good. The third one was okay, but it was a little weird in parts. But the second one wasn't very interesting. But he turned around and did Triple X, which, if you watch it, it's a terrible, terrible movie. It's like it's not good. Like the writing is just corny as hell. It's a great action movie. Like the whole plot of it is he's a troublemaking, um not stuntman, but like extreme athlete, I guess,
Hmm.
right? And but he's also, a criminal and whatever. And so Sam Jackson is running this program where they want a new breed of secret agents, and so he becomes the secret agent for this, and uh he just goes on this weird nonsensical mission, and it, it's fun to watch, um but it is incredibly, incredibly corny. I gotta look these up real quick and see what they're rated on Rotten Tomatoes. I can't imagine they're particularly good, but we watched all three. So the first one is a 48% from the critics and 58% from the audience. So you put that kind of right in the middle, right? Like it's like a 50% ish. And that's pretty accurate. Like it's not great, but it's not the worst movie either. The second one with Ice Cube and Willem, like this one had Ice Cube, Willem Dafoe, um, I don't know who Scott Speedman is, but yeah, Sam Jackson. Like it's not the worst cast I've ever seen, but it was a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes
Whoa.
and a 32% from the audience. And I have to say that at 17%, this is the same score that a movie that me and my kids watched a couple weeks ago called Geostorm got. And these are not the same film. At 17%, I think Triple X State of the Union is phenomenally better. At
Hmm.
least it's entertaining. Like you have explosions and action, and it's so dumb that it's funny. Like it's
Yeah.
just, it's not good. Like you can't rate it as a good movie, but it was at least entertaining. But it was a super ridiculous, and I I just don't really buy Ice Cube as a former Navy SEAL.
Hmm.
Um, but then so then they took a bunch of time off because it was 2002 and 2005, and then for some reason they felt in 2017 that they had to do a third sequel or a second sequel, and bring Vin Diesel back. And this one was a 40% from the critics, and oddly enough is a lower score from the audience. It's a 37%. um it, it it's funny to me that this one's rated lower than the first one because I actually thought it was the best of the three.
Hmm.
um and it was a fine film. It had another one. It had a good cast. It had Donnie Yen, who's an action star. It had um what's her name, where'd it go, from Oh god damn it! How am I totally blanking? Let's see.
Because we're old.
Yeah, right. Tony Collette. That's what I was trying to say. So
Oh, Toni Collette. I love
Tony
her.
Collette in it. Nina Dobrev from the Vampire Diaries. At one point, Ice Cube makes an appearance. So like his character didn't die off in the second one, and they're kind of showing that it's the same universe. I mean, they're stupid films, um, but they at least are exactly what they tell you they're going to be. They're going to
Yeah.
blow stuff up. They're going to be dumb, like they're testosterone fueled foolishness. And so we watched them. We had good laughs. We finished them. Um, well, I say I'll never watch them again, but I'll probably watch them again at some point. Um, but so we did that. But just like I said, to make sure that we were watching absolute garbage this week, because I'm an excellent parent, I found a film from 2008. And I won't tell you what it is yet. Let me tell you who the cast is, because the cast is really good. I don't know who Gabriel Macht is. He's been in stuff, but Samuel Jackson again, Sarah Paulson, Eva Mendes,
Hmm.
Paz Vega's been around, Jamie King, Scarlett Johansson, Stana Katic from Castle. Um, all these actors are in this movie. The movie is called The Spirit. It
Mm-hmm.
is a 2008 film based on an older comic book, and it is a god awful movie. It's so
I keep
it
thinking you're going to be like, give me something here. Like, oh, yes,
mm-mm,
you have to
mm-mm.
watch this. And now you're just telling me about all these terrible things.
You can watch it for the sake of watching something that does not make sense. Like I can't tell if it wanted to be like tongue in cheek, or if it was trying to be serious, or if it was trying to um I don't know, trying to adapt the comic book in a certain way. But it was by Frank Miller, who had just done the Watchmen movie, and he had done 300, or he had worked on 300, I think, and he did Sin City. So it's got that style where it looks kind of drawn, but kind of live action at the same time. Um, but Jesus Christ, it just does not make any sense. Like nothing about it makes sense. Like it just he's talking to the camera in kind of the old film noir kind of way, but it doesn't really make sense. Um, I guess Scarlett Johansson is a Nazi, but so is Sam Jackson, kind of. Like half the time he's dressed in like full Nazi garb for something. I, I can't, like, we were laughing because it doesn't make any sense, and they don't explain anything. So at one point early in the film, the main character, the spirit, is fighting Sam Jackson, and they're just beating the hell out of each other, but they can't seem to kill each other. And it turns out they're both kind of immortal, but they don't really tell you that. So you're just like, what? And Sam Jackson's character is called the Octopus. They don't ever explain why he's called the Octopus. He's just called the Octopus. Um, and I mean, it was so bad for having such a good cast, for having so many good people in it. It was terrible. So it's a 14% from the critics and a 25% from the audience. So basically nobody liked this movie.
Oh my gosh.
It somehow grossed $20 million, which is almost impressive to me.
So
Um,
basically, our entire show is don't watch these movies.
yes.
We're on a roll here.
Yeah. I mean, this one, at least I can say, like, it's sort of a masterclass in what not to do. Like,
Yeah.
you can watch it, but it's still more entertaining than um like that movie Geostorm that I watched with my kids. Like at one point, one of my kids looked at me and he's like, "This isn't just bad; it's boring." Like it's
Like a
supposed to
time
be like
waster.
an action disaster movie, and it was boring. At least there's action in the spirit. It's stupid and it doesn't make any sense, and you have no idea why anybody's doing anything. And there's like just random characters showing up. It is a bizarre film, and I think they were trying to do something that they just didn't actually achieve. That's the only thing I can think of, because this couldn't be the film they intended to make, because I just can't see that. I can't see that cast being that bad. Like, I mean, we're talking about award nominated actors like left and right. Sarah Paulson, Sam
That sucks.
Jackson.
It does sound like there's good actors in it, but
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just not. It was absolute garbage. I hated it.
yeah, I don't
Um,
even know if I've heard of it.
that's
I'm
probably for the
looking at it now,
best.
and nothing about it seems familiar whatsoever. But
No,
it was a
no.
while ago, 2008.
Yeah,
Well,
I should
I don't
actually,
know.
yeah, I
I
should
don't know if
actually
I'm gonna.
watch the trailer and see if the trailer makes it look better than it was. I don't even know. But we were looking for something bad, something that we knew would be bad, and we nailed it. So that was a lot of fun. I don't
Yeah,
know what we're going to move on to next. I may take them back up a little bit. I wanted to try and find the Transporter movies with Jason Statham.
yeah.
I also want to find the Perfect Dark movies, or not, sorry, Pitch Black movies with Vin Diesel.
Mm,
Since we were on a bit of a Vin Diesel kick, so I might go to those
yeah.
after. 'Cause I don't know if you were on, but we watched the entirety of the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Oh, you did. Wow.
So that was fun. That was definitely some ups and downs. The first one's fine because it's a movie of its time, right? And then they kind of dip, and then right in the middle they actually pick up and are pretty good because they finally figure out what they're doing.
Mhm.
They're not they're not as dramatic as they were trying to be early on. And then they go absolutely preposterous, like they literally like save the world 3 times. And if you look
How
at the
many are there
first one,
total?
yeah, there's 10.
Oh
We have only watched
gosh.
9, so 10 isn't available yet, so we'll be watching that in the next month or two,
Wow.
to get caught up, and supposedly they're making at least one more. So um those are a lot of fun, but I'm glad, so glad there's not a Spirit too, because I would totally make my kids watch it.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
but but there's not, so we're safe. So
Oh my
uh
gosh. Yeah, I
so
just been like, I don't even know what I'm like trying to think what I've even been watching. I don't feel like I've been watching as much as I normally do, but I feel like I've been watching more comedy and like
mhm.
old stuff. Like I went back and I watched like The Jerk with like
Oh,
Steve
nice.
Martin and like Animal House and like old stuff. I don't know why I got in this like older kick. But I feel like I want to watch like comedies because I'm gearing up for spooky season and
Oh yeah.
we're gonna get ready for all that, the thrillers and the horror and whatnot. So I'm keeping it light right now.
Yeah, I'm
Although
gonna.
I did watch something I remembered finally. Have you ever seen Room?
No, the one with Brie Larson.
Yes, I did
Yeah,
watch
I've always meant to watch that one because it was supposed to be really good. She won an award for that one, right?
Did she? I don't know. It was kind of random. I watched it. My oldest, she was watching it. Like, I don't know why she wanted to watch it. I guess she just found it and heard it was good. So then I watched it one day, and I mean, it's definitely sad. It's
Hmm.
about basically she gets kidnapped when she's younger and then gets put in a room and ends up getting abused more in the room and ends up having a child, and the child and her are stuck in the room. So it's just, that story and then them trying to get out and rebuild their life and whatnot. But yeah, I thought that was good. I definitely think that is worth a hard watch though. So if you're not, if that could definitely be triggering for certain people. So
Yeah, that one's
definitely look into it.
that one's actually a 93% from both the critics and the audience, which is pretty
Yeah.
rare that they completely agree. But um I try to see. I don't know if I can tell if she did. I thought she won the award for this though. Um
Yeah, I didn't. It
I
took me a second to realize it was even her because I put it on just saying, "Hey, watch Room," and I was like, "Okay." I didn't know what it was about, who was in it, and then when I saw her, I was like, "Dang, I didn't even realize." I mean, you can tell, but for some reason, it just caught me off guard because, she's so tore up because she's
mhm.
basically captured. So yeah, I think it was definitely good. Good, that would be
Yeah.
worth a watch.
Yeah, that's good. Don't accidentally watch The Room. That is a completely different film, and that one is
What is that?
that one. That
Oh,
is
D Room. Ooh.
possibly one of the worst movies. No, it's definitely one of the
Oh,
worst
this
movies
is
ever made.
drama romance. Oh,
The Room, I would not call it either one of those things.
that's what it says. Drama romance.
There's a movie that won the Oscar. It's called The Disaster Artist, and it starred not Affleck. He's not one of the Affleck brothers.
Your favorite.
Yeah, he sucks, but no, Franco, James Franco.
Oh,
So James Franco plays the guy that made this movie, The Room, and The Room is a cult classic film. It's like even more cult classic-y than like Rocky Horror.
really?
Yeah, it's very hard to just go out and find a copy. Lots of people have it. It is, it makes absolutely no sense. You really, there's no reason to watch it alone because you will just stop. You will just quit because it just doesn't make any sense. It's so bizarre. The main character has an accent that makes no sense because the actor is Tommy Wiseau, who, if you've never heard of The Room, you've never heard of Tommy Wiseau. He never did anything else. He funded this entire film himself. He had a couple of friends in it, and
He's the director too.
oh yeah, this is all him, and he's still making money off of it, because it became this cult classic thing. But it just, scenes will just change. People will come and go. No characters make sense. There's random sex and nudity just for the sake like of it being in there, and like it's weird. But if you watch it, the best way to watch it is with somebody that has already seen it. So if you sit down with, it's almost like The Ring. Like you have to watch it with somebody that has already seen it, so you can pass on the pain of the film, but laugh. Like you just laugh because once you've seen it, you like watch the person watching it for the first time to see just the absolute confusion and chaos on their face as this thing goes on, and you will absolutely die. So I think I've seen it twice. So I watched it once,
What?
obviously, for the first
You
time.
gave it another shot?
But you have to, like, because you have to pass it on. You can't be the like. It's, I mean, it's bad. It's bad, and it's, but it's so bad that it's fun because you're just baffled. You're baffled the entire time. Like you're like, how did this get made? What, like that they're dressed in suits for a wedding and they go into the back alley and play catch with a football when everybody's like 4 feet apart from each other. And so they're basically like throwing the football, like they could just hand it to each other. It's it's like I I need to find, I need to have Pete. Pete has seen it.
Yeah.
Pete needs to grab you and Kim and Andy and sit you guys down and have a watch because it needs to happen. Like you have to see this film, and the best part about it is if you do see it, you have to sit down and talk about it like right away.
Oh man.
Because you really have to be like, why? Like you have to talk to other people and say why, how did this get made? How
process it.
Are we still talking about it? Because the movie is, when did it come out?
That's 2003.
Was it 2003? God, it feels even longer than that.
I'm really glad we got back on track to our theme of the evening of terrible movies.
But see, it's actually a 47% from the audience, and that's because
where's that? That's not what I'm seeing. What do you,
Rotten
where
Tomatoes,
is that on?
25% on Rotten Tomatoes, 25% from the critics, but 47% from the audience.
Oh, I see.
And that's because the audience is entertained by it.
They're intrigued by the whatever it's whatever it is.
But it doesn't make sense. Like I can't watch, like I can't have this be one of the films I watch with my kids as much as I would want to. It's far too adult. It's so bizarre, and the way that it ends, you're just. And what's amazing about it is nobody on this from this movie was successful after this movie. Like it was the end of everybody's careers.
It was
like,
a career killer.
Yeah, like brutal, just brutal. And so,
now I'm trying to think of what other terrible movies I can add to all this.
Yeah, well, because you watched something good, and then I somehow turned it into something bad because you watched You watch
Oh,
like
I
an
watched
Oscar
Room, and
nominated
then
movie.
we transitioned to The Room.
But to be fair, there is an Oscar nominated film about The Room called The Disaster Artist.
Oh,
So that is actually a really interesting film because I feel like you have to watch The Room first so you can understand how bad the movie is, and then subsequently be so impressed by the making of The Disaster Artist because they effectively took everybody. So Franco and all the people that they cast to play these people, they actually full on reshot the movie so that they could have the scenes in their movie. So they basically remade The Room to make The Disaster Artist. Um,
wait,
and
Franco was in The Room or The
no,
Disaster?
nobody's in the room. No,
Okay, that's what I was
yeah,
confused on because I was like, this, I don't recognize anybody.
no, yeah, they're absolutely not. I'm sure they are so disappointed they're in the film because they get recognized now by people that have seen it, but that's the only way they're really have any kind of fame. Like I think Greg Sestero, the guy that played his best friend or his roommate or whatever, I think he went on to do a few more things. Like I think he's been around a little bit, but not to the point that you'd recognize him. Like he's just done some work.
Yeah.
The girl disappeared after that. She's alive as far as I know, but like her career was done. Um, and it's just bizarre because the story is that Tommy Wiseau spent so much money making the film, but nobody knows where the money came from.
Mm.
Like he and then when he was finished filming it, he spent all the money to put it into theaters. It didn't go into very many theaters, but like he rented out an entire theater and put it in there, and all on his own, and nobody even knows who he is. Like that's the crazy thing. So if you watch The Disaster Artist, like nobody understands who Tommy Wiseau is. He's still around. Like he was actually at the Oscars when the movie won, and Franco brought him up on stage.
Wow.
And but this guy is like he's nobody knows where he's from. Like nobody knows how he got the money to make it, like anything. It's the weirdest story.
Huh.
Um, so I do think you should try and find a way to watch the original with a group of people and then watch The Disaster Artist because The Disaster Artist is great. Um, and The Room is not. But yeah,
Okay.
that's all I can say.
Now you
But
have me
it's
intrigued.
yeah, I'll tell Pete. You know what? I'm going to do this right now in our chat. Say, Pete, you need to set up the room watch party. There we go. That message is out there in Pete land now. So we'll see if Pete it can take that one over because I think that would actually be really fun for um probably more fun for Pete the first time, but fun for you guys. And I'm pretty sure Pete owns a copy of it or at least knows where to get one.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's that. So after all of the trash films that we watched, we could finally talk about the only new thing I watched this week, although I watched it very quickly, and you finished it for the second time tonight. Have you watched
Yeah,
it
so
twice?
first I watched it with my oldest, and then tonight, then my youngest wanted to watch it. So I was like, it was, it was fine for younger kids too.
Yeah,
And so
yeah. I don't.
I, figure I would watch it because I could remember a little bit more when we were talking tonight.
Yeah, I feel like so. We're talking about You're So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah. It's being billed as an Adam Sandler movie, and I think that's a bit of a stretch. He didn't write it, he didn't direct it, he did produce it, and his scenes are relatively minimal. When he's in it, he's good. And Adina Menzel plays his wife, which I thought was funny that his actual wife is in the film also,
Yes. I
but
actually
not
liked
as
that
his
a lot.
wife.
I thought it was
Yeah.
funny. And his
Um,
kids.
yes, and his kids I think are fantastic.
They
I
were
thought they were
great.
really great. Um, but it's a it's a really fun film, and I think I didn't realize it's based on a book, so it's not like they just created this.
Right.
So to me, that makes it even less of an Adam Sandler film. Like it's based on a book that he didn't write, he didn't direct it, he didn't produce it. And it showed up in it a little bit. But his daughters are it really his younger daughter is the star of the film.
Right.
Although I thought his oldest daughter was hilarious.
I loved her. She
Yeah.
was awesome. She was so just like under the radar funny,
Hmm.
like not, I don't know. I just loved her. She was awesome.
Yeah, she was just like this little bit of sass all the time,
Mhm.
like, but not enough that she was like shitty, you
Yeah.
know, but enough that she was like a teenage girl. And the funny thing is, like, I can't relate to this movie. Like, I have a daughter. My daughter is an adult, and I can't relate to this movie on the same level because my daughter was easy. My daughter was super chill, like had no issues. Like she was like the perfect kid. And the closest thing that I have to a teenage daughter is my 14-year-old son, who is very much a teenage daughter in that way. But so I'm really curious because you do have daughters this age. So
Yeah.
I mean, how I think you said it in the chat, but like how like accurate does it feel to girls around that age?
I mean, it's hard because my oldest one, it's not relatable. That this is not the type of kid she is.
Hmm.
So, and so when I started watching it, she was like, "I'm not going to watch it." She didn't want to, but she was in the room, like on her phone, and then she's like, then she kind of got into it. She's like, "Well, now I'm invested. I need to watch it." But she found it. To me, like this movie is gonna. I don't think it's gonna like teens are gonna like it. I think it's more like preteen. And then my youngest is 9 and she really liked it. I think this is the type of movie that is good for like the younger kids who want to watch older movies, and like feel like they're not watching a cartoon. But it's not going to be like super inappropriate for them. So I definitely liked it for her for that. Um, and then my older one thought it was like super cringy. So but her beef is that she thinks that the teen movies are written by adults and then they're not accurate. And like, I mean, I can kind of see that, but I also think that sometimes the teens don't really see themselves for how ridiculous they really are. So,
That's true.
I think that might, be something, but yeah. So basically, did we tell what this movie was about? Did we give a brief?
No,
We should
no, other
probably
than a bat
really
mitzvah.
do that. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so Adam Sandler and Adina Menzel have two teenage daughters, and one of them is getting ready here for her bat mitzvah. It's a very interesting film if you're not Jewish, because I learned a lot watching this film. I have no idea what the Jewish folk go through in their coming of age years, as far as their religion, other than what I see on TV. Right, like um, I've never when I was this age, I didn't know anybody that was Jewish, or at least I didn't know that I knew anybody that was Jewish, so I didn't experience any of this in any way. So for all I know, this is not over the top at all, and every bat mitzvah is like this. Um, but yeah, so the whole point is that these two girls are good friends. So you have Adam Sandler's daughter and then her best friend, have been like kind of planning their bat mitzvah together for years. It's like a quinceanera or a girl kind of planning her wedding, right? They have all these crazy ideas and they want to do all this stuff. And there is some additional like Jewish schooling behind it. Like you have to take classes and you have to, stand up in front of the church and I guess they sing a song or they read from the Torah and they do all this stuff. Um, and so it's very significant. And in the movie, you see Adina Menzel's character, tearing up when she's going through it, and it doesn't seem very dramatic to me. So it tells me that it like is a big deal as a parent for your kid growing up, right? But anyways, they've been planning this thing forever. And Adam Sandler's daughter, what's her name, Stacy, um, has a crush on a boy, and she can't quite land the boy, and so her friend Lydia, they kind of have a really short falling out, like something that doesn't seem like it should be so dramatic. And then to get back at Stacy Lydia kisses the boy that she likes, and then it's like that's like the teenage atomic bomb, right? Like then it's them kind of one up hating each other for a little bit until they kind of work on resolving their issues at the very end for your typical happy ending. Like if you watch this movie, I don't think it's a spoiler to say it has the happy ending because it's that movie, right? Like you can just tell
Yeah.
watching it that it's going to go a certain way, but um, it it's fun to see the kind of the collapse of their relationship and then the kind of the comeback and I was watching it and I was like, do girls ever forgive each other like this? Like I feel like especially teenage girls are really good at hating each other.
Yeah.
Um
I don't
and
think it would in real life probably be that easy.
yeah.
At least from my experience, I know that grudges get held a little bit more.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, with kids, teens, boys or girls, like if you do something wrong, kids are like, yeah, you're dead to me. Like
Yeah. I mean,
it's
especially after that video that played,
yeah. I was like,
slideshow.
yeah, that doesn't seem like it would be forgivable.
No.
Um, but I mean, it is a good movie, and everybody does it great. And like I said, the girls are really great. Um, the girl who plays Lydia is fine. I think she's the best friend, so she's kind of a little more side character, but both of Adam Sandler's daughters were good. They like really good. They
Yeah.
were kind of scene stealers.
I really liked them.
Um, I loved the scene where everything went as bad as it could. So Adam Sandler's yelling at his daughter,
Hmm.
and they're like screaming at each other at the top of their lungs upstairs, so you can only hear
Oh,
them.
after she gets in trouble at school with the boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was so funny just the way that she's like, I'm gonna be you're gonna be the reason I start doing drugs, and he's like, yeah, well, you're gonna be the reason I start doing drugs. Like it was it was fun, and so yeah, I don't think it's a particularly realistic movie, right?
Right.
Like it is definitely a bunch of cliches thrown together, and like I said, teenagers and girls especially are really good at not liking each other and not forgiving if things go sideways. So in
Yes.
that regard, I think it wasn't particularly realistic. Um, but I laughed, like I had a good time with it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and um, I see I definitely see a future for his younger daughter. She's pretty. She's prettier than I would expect Adam Sandler's daughter to be.
Yeah.
She gets that from her mom, obviously.
Yeah. She looks very
Uh,
much like her mom.
yeah, and but she's funny. Like I said, the older daughter killed me. Like she was just
So funny.
uh, she
Yeah.
had such a small amount of dialogue, but when she had it, it was perfect every time.
Yes.
Um,
Agree completely. She
yeah,
has such a good vibe about her, and
and I
she's
like that
funny.
she had a best friend that was always around too,
Yes.
right?
She's
Like
the
they were
youngest. Is like,
always
why are you always here?
yeah. It was one scene like the friend is talking to Adam Sandler and she uses their first names to talk to him, and they're like, "Yeah, don't ever do that again."
Yeah. Oh, yes, I know. They want to be referred to as Mr. and Mrs. Friedman. I think.
Friedman, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, who does that? Do they really? Nobody does that anymore. I mean, maybe there are, but I don't want
I
anybody calling me Mrs. Bishop.
yeah, it's super weird for me because my middle son, he's got friends and I've taken them to like the mall and stuff a few times or whatever. Yeah, and being called Mr. Clausen, I'm like, that's so weird to me. But at the same time, like I don't want like a 14-year-old being like my buddy.
Right. Like you don't
So I
want
was
to
like,
coming up like calling your bruh and
yeah.
all that crap.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what the right term is. I guess it's you know, I guess it's, I
Kev.
guess they're right, but yeah, sup, bro? Like,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. So, but yeah, but overall, you said your youngest liked it, and I could see that. Like
She
this,
liked it.
this almost feels like the 9-year-old's version of the Jennifer Lawrence one, right? Like it's for if you're 9 years old, this movie is racy, right? Like they're talking about
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
periods
Like
and
these movies are perfect for her because she gets to feel big,
yeah,
and I'm not exposing her to terrible things. There were some term, they're talking about the
yeah.
frontal farts and,
So
which I died. The elderly lady crew at all
hmm
bar
yeah.
mitzvah. Oh man, they were hilarious. I loved them. And she was that was the lady that said that line, which probably might have been the best line of the movie, to be honest. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was cute. I mean, is it, an amazing award-winning movie? No, but it's silly, funny, a good family movie, and very entertaining.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think that because Rotten Tomatoes always makes me laugh because this has got a 97% from the critics and a
Wow.
60 and a 65% from the audience. And I feel like it
Oh,
sits in the middle of that, but I'm surprised that the critics liked it as much as they do.
yeah. Usually
Uh,
they're, a lot more tough on
yeah,
things.
yeah. So it's interesting. Yeah, it did really well. I didn't expect it to be that good, although I did expect it to be rated high. This is also the highest rated Adam Sandler movie, if you count it as an Adam Sandler movie. It's the highest rated Adam
Really?
Sandler movie of all time. Yeah.
Huh.
Now, granted, it's been out for a week, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not like it's.
I mean, I don't know if I would call it the best Adam Sandler movie of all time. I don't think I
I
could go to
I'm
that
a
extent.
I'm a Happy Gilmore guy. Like I've seen Happy Gilmore like 1,000 times.
Mhm.
That might not even be an exaggeration. Um, Billy Madison is awesome. Like I
Yes,
like
Billy
the
Madison.
old. I feel I think that's
Singer.
funny because I think there are two schools of early Adam Sandler, and it's either Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison, and people are
Madison.
like, yeah, you have the Madison people and you have the Gilmore people.
Yeah.
I love both of them, but I do like Happy Gilmore more, or maybe just because I've seen it so many times. Um, I was
Yeah.
a restaurant manager once, when I do paperwork at night, I had a videotape copy of Happy Gilmore, and they had a TV in the office for training, so I'd watch the movie like on repeat just to have something on. So I've seen that movie many times. But he's got a lot of great movies, and like I said, I think my argument against this one is I don't think he was a big enough presence in this one to call
Yeah.
it um an Adam Sandler film. Um this was his daughter's film, and I kind of think people should celebrate it as that. Like she was really good. This one over here is his daughter. And actually that one over there is his
Yeah, they both are
oldest
good.
daughter. Okay, I can't point because
I felt like it had some like moments that are very like indicative of his film. So like,
Mhm.
like the younger kid where where it's like they kind of like stop and like put someone on the spot. Like I feel like that is very much like his type of movie. So like when they kept putting like that younger kid on the spot where at one time it happened in class with the rabbi lady. I think that was,
Mhm.
I can't remember her name, but and then there was another moment like later on where it's like I think it was in the movie theater, and like Adam Sandler puts him on the spot. It's like super uncomfortable. It's like
Yeah.
just very, that just to me felt like very like his movie. There's always like those moments that's like super awkward and like what, like doesn't make a lot of sense and just weird.
Yeah. Yeah. He's definitely and like I said, is not necessarily his movie, but he's come a long way. Like he's such a different person and character than he was when he was in the other movies. To see him as a dad, like I think when he did Big Daddy, he was still a child. Like I know
Yeah,
he
he was
was like
young then.
35 or whatever, but like mentally he was still very childish, and
Yeah.
now like he definitely feels like a dad in this.
Yes, for sure. I liked him. I
Um,
liked him a lot as a dad. And it was
yeah,
cool to see him with his daughters and kind of just like think about what they're like in their own lives.
yeah.
But is he not a dad in any other movie? I'm trying to think. Like,
Well,
has he
he
not been
he
a
is
dad?
in he is in Big Daddy. I think he's got kids in Click.
Oh,
Or I know he has kids in Click because that's kind of the point, is he starts fast forwarding through their lives and misses a bunch of their stuff.
Oh wait, there wasn't. What was the one where I have to find it? Well,
gosh.
Hotel Transylvania.
Oh
We're
well,
gonna count that.
that's a stretch.
Yeah.
I mean,
Grown-ups? Was he
I'm sure he had kids in that, although that was more about them than anything else.
right?
Um, let's
There's one
see.
other I'm trying to think of, but I can't think of the.
He
Yeah,
was
find
not
it.
a parent in The Water Boy.
English.
I he may have had kids in Spanglish, but that was really about him
Yeah.
and what's her name?
Okay. Yeah. So, well, yeah, we'll definitely
Um,
say that this was a big
yeah,
death
it's
for
interesting
him.
actually, like looking at his stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't usually play, like the dad or the family man.
Blended he was. So Blended was with uh Drew Barrymore, and that was like it's blended because they bring their families together.
Oh, right.
So he was a parent in that one. Um and I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure in Grown Ups he was a parent, but it was like I said, more about the parents. He
Right.
did That's My Boy, but I think he was the son in that. No,
I don't
uh,
remember that one. I do.
that's him and Andy Samberg.
Yeah.
But I think Andy Samberg is actually his son in that. So um, that one is kind of silly. Um, Funny people, no. Chuck and Larry, he might have had kids, and I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
Yeah.
And like I said,
I don't know if
Click,
I've
I
seen
know
that
he
one.
did, but yeah, for the most part, he doesn't really play a parent. So this was um, a
A
good,
big deal.
yeah. Um, and he did good in it. It wasn't like I said. I'm glad it was more about his daughter. I hope they both uh, do more work. I thought they
Yeah.
were two different kinds of funny. Like his older daughter was definitely drier,
Yes. I
but
love that.
man, did
So
she
funny to me.
delivered all the time.
Yeah.
Um, and then uh, and then the younger one was she was good. She was really charismatic and
Yeah. I
very
think we'll
much a
definitely see more of both of them.
yeah
I
yeah.
saw, I,
So
saw- I read a little bit and I started seeing the Nepo baby stuff and I was like, oh my gosh, come on.
yeah
Like, seriously, who cares?
yeah. That's how Hollywood works. I wish my parents had been in Hollywood so I could be rich and famous, but I'm not.
Yes, exactly.
So I mean, I said like I said, that's the industry. If you don't like it, tough.
Yeah. There's
It's,
so many times I'll watch things and I don't even realize I didn't even know that it was somebody's parent, kid. So that just goes to show that a lot of times they just have talent. And like, why wouldn't they? Like, if they have a talented parent, why would they not be talented themselves?
yeah. Well,
So
that's like, did you see what's the Brad Pitt one? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Tarantino, did you watch that one?
probably like a long time ago. I don't know. I can't really
Mm.
remember.
Yeah, yeah. There's a girl in it named Margaret Qualley. Um, and she does a good job. She's just in there and she's been in other stuff too. Um, but
Wait,
she's
is that the one
Andy.
where they're like killing each other and gets all crazy?
They
Is
do
that
at
the one?
the end, yeah. It's
Okay,
basically
yes. Now I know. In
it's
the
about the
house.
Manson killings and stuff, yeah.
Okay, yes, I have
Um,
seen that.
and but one of the girls that joins the Manson family is Margaret Qualley, and if you didn't look it up, you wouldn't even know, but she's Andy McDowell's daughter.
Oh, oh,
Um,
wait. She's in something else that I watched, and I had discovered that.
mhm. Yeah, she's been in
Um,
a few things.
yes, I think she's in the maid.
Oh
Is
yes,
that it?
yes, she's the main,
Yes.
yeah,
That's when I discovered that that was her daughter.
yeah.
And that's such a great, I don't know if you've seen that show, but it's
I've heard of it, and
really good.
I heard it was a little emotional.
It is. I
Um,
loved it. I think a second season is coming out. I thought I might be wrong, but I'm hoping because I really liked that series.
she's in one that's at the awards shows right now that is just killing it.
Really?
I haven't watched the trailer for it, but it's called Poor Things. It's
Hmm.
her and Emma Stone and Mark Ruffalo,
Oh,
and this is the yeah. I don't. this isn't the same description I heard. The description I've read said it's a little more, um, I don't know if sexual is the right word, but
Oh,
it's got that in it. But this says the incredible tale about the fantastical evolution of Bella Baxter, a young woman brought back to life by the brilliant and unorthodox scientist, Dr. Godwin Baxter. But
whoa.
this at the Telluride Film Festival, I think, is what they were just at.
Huh.
Um, just got a standing ovation.
Wow.
So yeah, it's supposed to be really good, and it's Emma Stone as the main character. Um, she looks very different in this than she
She
usually
does. I
does.
didn't even
Yeah,
recognize her when I'm pulling this picture up.
yeah, it's
Wow.
her, and then Ruffalo, Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, that
Um,
looks definitely intriguing.
yeah, I'm really curious about it, having seen um, what I saw, and then this trailer that was just running definitely showed her having sex with somebody. So there's sex in it, um, and it's considered romance and sci-fi. This doesn't
Sci-fi romance,
tell me
sci-fi
what. Oh,
fantasy.
R-rated, yeah. So, um, but it sounds like it's a good solid mind fuck. So, it
I love
it
that.
should be interesting. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what's coming up that I've wanted to see. What is coming out? I do want to see Gran Turismo.
Yeah, that's supposed to be
Oh,
really
I
good.
want to see Bottoms. I think that looks
Yes, that looks
that
hilarious.
that I want to see soon. That looks funny. Uh yeah, I don't know.
That one's crazy to me. That's the girl from The Bear.
I know.
And it's such a weird, like, to see her play such two very different characters. I think is
I
interesting.
know. I do want to see her because I want to. I think we were talking about the bear one time, and I like don't. I just like for some reason her character on there gets a little on my nerves sometimes,
Hmm.
and so I want to see her in like a different role because I just want to see. It's
Let's see
not.
if
I
it's the
don't feel like I
character or
don't
the
like
actor.
her. It's like
Yeah.
something about the character bugs me. But on that last episode, I felt like she redeemed. I liked her a lot more. There's just certain scenes and things that drive me a little bit nuts, but I think I feel like I will like her in Bottoms. Oh, I just realized that it also has this guy named Nicholas Galadine, and I just watched him in, which is a super cheesy movie. It was the one with Sophia Carson. Okay,
Okay.
so now wait, let me figure out what this movie was that I just watched her in, and then that guy from Bottom. Oh, Purple Hearts.
I literally just saw that listed somewhere for something
It kept
else.
popping up in my Netflix, and then I was like, I don't know why it wasn't capturing me with the preview. And then one day I was like, I'm gonna watch it, and I enjoyed it. It was cute, just a little love flick. But anyway, I thought the guy in that was really cute, and I realized he is in Bottoms, so that's great.
Yeah, that one
One more reason to
looks,
watch it.
it just looks damn fun. Uh,
Yeah,
Over the top again is one of those comedies that's like, over the top. It's too much, and
yeah.
I
I
think
mean, the first. Oh, go on. Sorry.
no, I was just gonna say, I think it's fun. I think we kind of need that right now.
Yeah, like I watched the preview and like the first thing they said was like, tonight is the night we're gonna get some cooch or like something. I was like, whoa, okay,
Yeah,
just going for it.
yeah. You're like, wow, that's how very adult of you. Yeah. I didn't even recognize this girl, Sophia Carson. She's beautiful. Holy shit.
She is, yes.
She's 30. She doesn't look 30.
No, yeah, she does like, just silly stuff. I'm trying to think what she's not. I mean, she's good. She's okay.
I think she must be a Disney kid. Oh, she did Descendants, so she's probably a Disney kid because
Yeah, she did Descendants. She did one called Feel the Beat,
yeah,
which is like a dancing one. It was cheesy, but again, perfect for the 9-year-olds. I think
oh
they're
yeah,
watching something, cool and
yeah, and all
more
her stuff
more
looks,
adult.
or 60% of her stuff looks music related. Like I think she must have
Yes. Well,
albums and
she
stuff out.
sings. And actually, she even in Purple Heart, she was a singer.
Yeah,
So I think that's kind of what she usually gets cast in. So yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know what else is coming out.
Yeah. Wait, hang on. I kept a little list. I try when I go to the theater and previews
Hmm.
start popping up, I try to make a little note, but I think I started seeing everything. Let's see, where are we? What month? Granite Straits. Oh, I saw that. Haunting Venice. I don't know why I wrote that
That's
down.
the next Hercule Poirot movie. So if you watch Murder on the Orient Express and
Oh, yes.
the Nile one, that's with what's his name? Um, but yeah, it looks good. I think the Nun 2 comes out this month, maybe.
Yeah. Oh
Saw
God. There,
10.
The Exorcist. Have you seen that preview? Oh my God, it looks so
No,
scary. It looks
I
really scary.
I don't know if I
Yeah,
never
that
the original did not scare me, so I don't even know if I care.
no, it just looks creepy. I don't even know if I've seen the original, to be honest. I gotta get in spooky mode now. Like we
Hmm.
gotta switch gears from the comedies. Tomorrow, Sydney and I were said we're gonna start. We're gonna start. We're gonna get on it because we can't get it all done in October. We gotta start in September. So I had this list last year. It was a really good list. I need to find it. And it kind of broke everything down by like the different type of things. And then I'd even found some like series that kind of gave like a fall Halloween vibe and stuff I was gonna try and
There's a good
watch.
one. At least the first season I really liked. Did you ever watch Sleepy Hollow?
No.
That
I
one
wonder
was
if that
good.
was
I like that one. Kid friendly, I think. I think your kids could watch it. It was on
wait, is
Fox,
that
so
with what's her name? What's who's in that?
nobody and nobody. Let me
Oh, okay.
no,
Maybe I'm thinking something.
Tom Misson is his name, the guy that plays Ichabod Crane. And then the girl was beautiful, and she kind of stopped acting because she had some kind of issue, um, and she quit after the second season, which was super depressing because she was awesome. I thought she was like her chemistry with the dude too was so good. Nicole
Hmm.
Bahari.
Wait,
Um,
is that a series?
yeah, it was a series. It got 4 seasons, I think. Three,
Sleepy Hollow.
3 or 4.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
4 seasons.
Oh
Um,
wait, I'm thinking the movie.
the movie was dope too. So you could watch the movie.
Yeah, because
That's
Christina
Johnny
Ricci.
Depp, and yeah,
That's what I was thinking of. The sleep. Okay,
yeah. And I have
got
a
it. So not that one.
I have an unhealthy Christina Ricci crush too, so I can watch
Well,
that
no
movie.
wonder you're watching Yellow Jackets.
Yes, she's extra crazy in that too.
I know she is. Yeah. What do I have? Why do I have this something on here called Scream Queens? I don't know what that is.
That was a series, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a series. I put that on my Halloween to-do list. Wait, I'm gonna add Sleepy Hollow so I can check that out. Oh, so I did want to watch Reinfeld, even though I know it's probably not very good.
Oh, Renfield.
But
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Renfield. Okay.
the other one that if it comes out in time to stream is the Last Voyage of the Demeter. That one will be pure horror.
Yeah.
But that one is the story basically of Dracula coming across the ocean. So it's about the ship
Oh,
that brought him to America.
what was it? The last.
The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Oh,
I don't know when it comes to streaming. It was just in the theaters. I don't know how well it did,
that's
but
weird.
it
I don't
looked
remember hearing
good.
of that.
Yeah, that's the problem right now is nobody's advertising anything. It only got a 48% from the critics, so it may not be great, but 76% from the audience. So I'd say take that for what it is.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's Dracula. It was just in theaters. Um, might actually still be in theaters. Like it released on August 11th, so it hasn't even been out a month, so it might still be in the theaters.
Did you watch Hubie Halloween? That's Adam Sandler.
No,
I think we watched it last year. I'm blanking on what I think it was like good. I mean, good enough for to watch with the kids.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I have a lot of stuff. I want to go back and watch older stuff too, like The Craft and I have some weird stuff on
I
here. Old stuff.
rewatched the Blair Witch Project not too long ago.
I thought about doing that. I did. I have thought about doing Blair Witch. That was on my big list that had everything divided up by like the different types of horror. I
Yeah.
was watching a lot of horror for a long time, and then I
Hmm.
just like couldn't. Like, I don't know if life just got crazy, and I was like, dude, I was like, I don't even know if I like horror. But
But
now that it's getting closer to Halloween, I'm like, okay, I feel like I want to watch it again.
I did a rewatch of the whole Evil Dead franchise not too long ago, including Ash versus the Evil Dead, the TV series.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Actually, I learned a lot about Evil Dead. I didn't realize how much of it I hadn't seen. Um, the first one is a great like 70s, 80s low budget horror movie.
Is this the same thing as Evil Dead Rise? Like the
Sort of like it's in the same universe, but it's Evil Dead Rise is very different. So you have the
it's not the
first.
same. It's not like it's not the same movie.
No, it's in it, like I said, it's in the same universe. So the first one was made in like 79 or 81 or somewhere in there. So right there, right on the cusp of the 70s and 80s. And it definitely has that vibe to it. They wanted to try and remake it with a little bit more money because it was almost like a school project film.
Mm.
And it came out much more comedic in the second one. And then they made a sequel to that called Army of Darkness, which is ridiculous. Like it's just over the top, silly, and fun. Um, and then it kind of died off. And then they did Ash versus the Evil Dead, which was a TV series on Stars. And that was fucking great. It was still comedic, but it matured from where it was. And then they did the Evil Dead remake, which isn't actually a remake, but they just used the name and they used a similar story. That one was really good. That was 2017 or something like that, 2019. And then Evil Dead Rise is kind of a continuation of that one. Evil Dead Rise was good. That was really good.
Like, feel so scared to watch that.
Yeah, that
I
one.
want to, but I was like, okay, maybe I'll watch it at home, not in the theater,
Yeah,
because
let me tell you, when you're done watching it, you'll be like, I'm a better parent than this woman.
yeah.
If you need that validation, you'll get that. Um, but yeah, that one was good. Gory, like it's definitely gory horror.
Yeah.
Um, what else did
What
I
was
got?
it's not horror, but what was the one that you guys told me to look to watch? The one where they go to like Europe, or I'm like blinking. They do like the maypole kind of thing.
Oh yeah, no, I would count that as horror. A Midsummer,
Okay, I love that. That's like
psychological horror for
my
sure.
jam. That's the type that I like. I don't like to watch as much gore and that. I like the ones that like fuck with your head.
Yeah, the Evil Dead movies will definitely have a lot of gore in them.
Yeah. So
So
I need
it's more of
more
that.
recommendations like that, like psychological.
Midsummer.
I
What's the
do
other
still want to
one?
watch Hereditary.
Yeah, Hereditary. That one will mess you up a little bit. That's got some good stuff in it.
There was something I watched that had her in it. What's her name? Pugh or
Florence Pugh.
yeah. There it was with her, and have you seen that one? It's where they're like in that city, but they're really like not there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That I can't remember the name of that.
Fuck. Neither can I. Chris Pine was her husband, right? Or no,
Right.
Chris Pine
No,
ran the
he was
place.
the head guy.
Yeah, her husband
I liked that.
was.
See, that was more like kind of weird shit. I like that.
Don't Worry, Darling. That's what it was
Oh
called.
yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. It did kind of got a bad rap. I think some people maybe just didn't quite get it. There's definitely
Yeah,
issues with it. Like it could have been better, but
I agree.
um,
It wasn't like, outstanding, but I thought it was a cool concept. And I like her.
yeah, I like her a lot. Yeah, Blair Witch Project comes up as like that one is interesting. Like it would be an interesting one to watch with your kids if they like horror. If they didn't know about it, if you could convince them that it was real, so they kind of got the experience that we got when it came out,
Yeah,
because
I don't even
that's what
remember it at all. So maybe I'll
well,
see if we can watch it.
well that's what made that one work so good is that the marketing behind it was so good that you didn't realize it wasn't real like when it
Right.
first came out. I read something about it, and the girl that starred in it, they were so hush hush about it because of the way they were marketing it, that people saw her name in, they didn't change her name for the film. So like friends of the family saw the trailer coming out and saying, "Oh, this girl is missing." And so her family was getting phone calls about her being missing and dead before the film even came out because they were worried for her.
Damn.
I want to watch The Witch too. I keep forgetting to watch that one
Which?
with the girl from The Menu.
Oh.
And the chess one, what's her name? She's a little weird looking, but she's Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh, okay.
But I've been meaning to watch that one. I heard it's a good slow burn horror movie, kind of like Midsummer. Oh, another one that looked kind of good. It might be the same vein. Was just called Men.
Mend?
Men, Men.
Oh, men.
Um,
Oh, that's a psychological.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll put that on my
Let me see
list
if
and
that's
check out the
streaming anywhere.
preview.
It's
Man, I'm never gonna be able to
streaming.
get through all these.
It's
That's why I gotta
streaming.
start in September.
Yeah, exactly. It's streaming on Paramount Plus if you have that, or Showtime.
Oh, okay, I got
Uh,
this.
so that one, and
That's
obviously
not that very old.
Witch. No, it was just like a year or two ago, and then yeah, those are some good ones. Men looked like a trip. It actually looked very midsummerish, a little more mental.
Yeah.
The Wicker Man is up there, the original, not the remake. The original 1973 Wicker Man is supposed to be very midsummerish.
Hmm.
I think what made Midsummer work so well is there are things about it that are real. The whole scene where the old people are jumping off the cliff. That's an actual thing.
Yes.
Did you see Bodies, Bodies, Bodies?
No, but that when I was searching these, that just popped up.
That's a fun one. That's a good one.
It
And it's
is.
not pure horror. It's more of comedy suspense, but it works really well.
Okay.
Let's see. Imitation Men, which I watched The Descent. That one maybe is a little more gory though, but that one's a trip, especially if you are any kind of claustrophobic.
The
That one,
Descent,
yeah, The Descent. There's two of them, but the second one doesn't make any sense. Only watch the first one.
2005.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Oh, like going down into like a cave or something.
Yeah, yeah. The Invitation keeps popping up. I don't remember this one.
Wait, I thought I watched. Is that
Which,
in
which one?
The Invitation?
Yeah, I don't even.
Let me see.
Logan Marshall Green, Tammy Blanchard.
Oh yeah, I did watch that.
Okay.
The 2022 one.
2015, The Invitation.
Oh, did you see? There's a 2022 one. I watched that last year.
That was the one, the vampire-ish one.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Okay,
was
so you're
okay.
talking about. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
There's
You're talking
this.
about another one.
Yeah, this other one is supposed to be a little more dark. Oh,
2000.
Mother
Oh,
with Jennifer Lawrence is supposed to be pretty fucking crazy too.
what is it?
Mother.
Mother?
Yep.
Is it coming out?
No, it's been out for a while.
Oh, wait, why is
Within,
this not coming up? Okay, there it is.
did you ever see Get Out?
No.
That
Oh,
one's good.
wait. Did I? I don't know if I did.
If you want a weird one, The Lighthouse was a trip. Willem
Oh,
Dafoe and
Lighthouse.
Robert Pattinson.
Oh.
It's a weird one. It's very artsy.
Oh,
It might be too artsy. Like it's.
I felt like I tried to put that on and I couldn't get into it
Mhm.
because I was like, I like him. So I thought, "Oh, okay, let me try it. But I felt like I could not get into it, even though I wanted to. Yeah, I feel like I need to figure out what is coming out in the movies because I had a big list for a while now. I don't really have
Yeah.
much.
I thought there was a couple of good horror flicks coming up this year. I can't remember what they are.
Yeah, so there's The Nun 2,
Yeah, which I'm
and
sure won't
then
be good. The first Nun
The
was only
Haunting in
okay.
Venice, Exorcist Believer. Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's will come out.
Hmm.
Is stuff like stuck and like can't come out now because of the strike or
No, everything that's made should be able to release. It's anything that I think we're at the point now where they can't film anything new at this point because the actors are on strike. They were pushing it for a while where if a script was written and they didn't have to edit the script at all, if they could run with the script as written, you could film a movie because of the writer's strike. As long as you didn't change the script, you were fine.
Hmm.
Um, and that was okay. But now that the actors are on strike, there's nothing
So
filmed
we might
besides
have like
reality television.
yeah, like a long lull of nothing good coming out, huh?
Yeah, it's we're gonna get into that trouble zone. So like The Last of Us, they were starting to cast for season, and they can't even cast shows right now. You can't cast your show. You can't do anything
Yeah.
because writers or actors can't do it. And what's crazy is if they go to like a convention, they're not allowed to talk about shows they were on.
They can't even
Like
like promote it.
no, like even if it's a show that's not on anymore, like they can't talk about like Zach Levi got himself in trouble because he said it was stupid, but I don't think he's wrong. Like he can't talk about Chuck. Like and Chuck's not even on. Like it doesn't affect anything. But yeah, you can't talk about anything you were technically on. I think I assume that like the Star Trek actors are getting away with it somehow because their whole convention is based on that. But um, yeah, it's crazy.
But it only affected, it seems like some like independent studios, like they can still release things. It's only like members of SAG or
There
because I
there
was
was
reading,
something about if it's under a certain budget and done in a certain way, you can still make a film.
yeah, because I
Um,
was reading about the Taylor Swift thing, and they were like, someone was like, how could she do that? And then I was reading about the different studios and whatnot, and who it really did affect. So apparently she did not fall under the umbrella of it mattering. So
yeah, well, it's probably not scripted.
yeah,
And there's no real actors in it. So she's probably in the clear for that because um, it's effectively a documentary.
right. So we're gonna have a bunch of reality TV, and I mean, but
Although,
that shit's scripted.
yeah, well, and Bethany Frankel, she's trying to stir shit up over there and get um, a uh, a reality TV union going and get them to strike too.
Really?
Yeah,
Wait, what is she? I haven't even. Is she
she was
on
no, she
Real
was.
Housewives right now? Is she
I
even
think
on anything
so.
right now?
I don't think she
I
is
haven't watched
anymore,
it.
but she started talking about how yeah, well, the residuals and stuff for those have gone to shit too because as soon as everything moved over um
Streaming.
to streaming, the streaming services are just big fat liars. Like they're just like, yeah, no, we didn't stream enough to pay you, and like actors are showing their residual checks that are like $1.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
That's great. Oh, that's what I watched. Um, oh shit. Here I go again. Brain not working and I can't think of the name. It's the one where it's like reality TV, but um it's in a courtroom.
Yes. Oh my God. The
Forgot I watched this. I haven't finished it.
only the one guy is not an actor.
Yes.
Like everybody's an actor except for the one guy.
Yes.
What's that one
Yes.
called?
I
Is it
know.
is it just
Court
called The Jury or
yeah, it might be the jury. Totally forgot I watched that and I need to finish it. Um
Jury Duty?
Jury Duty. Okay, yes. So that I started watching.
That looks hilarious.
It's funny and I love the way James Marsden is. He's like plays this like so full of himself, like just says all this shit and the guy's just like, okay, Yeah, you should watch it.
Yeah,
I
that
have
one
been
looked.
enjoying that. I totally forgot I need to go back to that and finish watching it. Um, yeah, that shit's funny. Oh, so that's what made me think of it was um there's a part in it where they're talking about his films, and then he was like, well, did you stream, did you like buy it on DVD or did you stream, and then he's like, well, if you would have done this, like I would have got $1. So that was funny. But yeah, you should watch Jury Duty.
Yeah, that one. I remember. I don't know how I found the trailer for it, but I was like, "Holy shit, this looks amazing."
Yeah, a friend recommended it to me, and then it's pretty silly. Yeah. I mean, I'm like, does this guy really think this is real? But he seems to. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, it's pretty silly. Yeah, I gotta go back. I think I'm only on like a few episodes in, so I need to finish that. I gotta see how it ends and how he gets exposed to the truth.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely want to know if, like, at the end they tell him. I mean, it must, right? Like
Yeah,
the. Yeah,
what's going on? Why everything seems so crazy.
it's so crazy.
I need to write shit down more.
Yeah,
Help
yeah, I'm really
my
bad at it.
old brain.
Or the funny thing is, I have a my desk is a glass top desk, so I have dry erase pens, so I write stuff on
Oh,
here all the time. But I
mhm.
work so much that I end up wiping off what I wrote down, so I forget what I wrote down.
Yeah,
Um, but but yeah, I gotta get better about making my lists too.
yeah. This is too much, and
I'm too old.
roll.
This thing does not work.
No, it's
Yeah.
just getting worse and worse, and I don't think it's going to get any better.
No, no, I'm ready for the old folks home. If I, if I can just have pudding night and TV, I'm good.
Yep, I know. I just went and visited my dad, and he was mad because he didn't get his pudding.
Yeah,
So
my
I had to
my
go hunt down the nurse and
yeah,
get the pudding.
my grandma was in an old folks home for a while, and I was like, look, I know they're not the most beautiful places. Like a lot of times, they're a little dingy because they're older, but at the same time, I'm like, so somebody makes all my food. They'll come in and clean my room,
Yep,
and like I can just watch TV and do whatever the fuck I want.
yep.
I'm like, I'm ready for that.
I know. That's what I tell my dad. I'm like, dude, you have like a good gig here. You
Yeah,
just, it's like you can't appreciate it because you're not, we're at just different points. It's kind of like, they say youth is wasted. Wait,
yeah. Youth is
something.
wasted on the young, but it is.
Yes, youth is wasted on the young. So it's like the same thing. It's like, God, we're really kind of at like the shittiest point, I think, in our lives.
Yeah, we're way too responsible for shit right now. Like,
Yeah, it's like, we're just in this middle part in
yeah,
our lives, and it's kind of weird.
yeah, we have to be way too responsible. It's garbage.
Yeah,
I'm not
I know.
interested. I will pass. Thank you.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Oh well, I'm ready for some pudding time.
no shit. I'm gonna go make pudding. I wish I had pudding. I would totally make pudding.
I know I could totally be down for some pudding right now.
So yeah, I don't have anything else. I wasted everybody's time with garbage films, and I don't apologize for it. I'm gonna watch more.
No, we can
Um,
consider it a warning for some people.
that's right, exactly.
That's what we were doing. We were warning people
Yeah,
tonight.
or go watch them and see how bad they are. Like it's
Right.
if you're entertained by low quality films, I am here to help. I am creating a laundry list. Um, but yeah, do you have anything else?
I mean, nothing. No, not really. I need to start writing things down because I don't even remember what I watched like
Yeah,
the next week if I don't write it down. So I'm sure I watched some good things, but nothing that needs to be really discussed.
and stupid Pete didn't show up. I know you guys were going to talk about The Summer I Turned Pretty, but he hasn't.
Oh, that's
Still hasn't
right.
showed up.
Yeah. What? I mean, I don't know. I don't know that show's gonna appeal to your viewers. So
Yeah, I don't even know if we have any viewers, so it doesn't really matter. But
oh
yeah,
dear.
So, all right, cool. Well, with that, then I will say to whoever's watching or listening, damn it, I will be caught up by the time this drops. So if you're watching or listening, thank you. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that junk. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.